My name is Mattie, and I want to share my story with you. I am from the Cree Nation. When I was young, a man came to our reserve in a big bombardier. He offered us candy and said he would give us a ride in his truck. He didn't take us home. He took us to the residential school. I don't know how long I was there. My memory has big holes in it about that time. I do remember being in a basement with no desks, no books, just a blackboard you wore on a string around your neck. I was afraid of the dark, and when you were bad, I was put in a dark and I was hit on my knuckles. I saw people's mouth moving, but I didn't know what they were saying. My grandmother came and got me from the school and took me home with her because I wasn't in a residential school. I didn't go to school at all. I lived with my grandmother because my parents were alcoholics. My grandmother, my mother, and my father were all part of the residential school system. My sisters and brother were as well, but my brother ran away. My grandmother kept me safe. I saw my parents. We would go their place and help clean up. When I was a teenager, the reserve was not a good place for me. Young girls were not treated well. I was sexually abused and raped. I became pregnant with my first child. My mother and stepfather weren't drinking as much then, and my mother helped me with my son. My son was 8.5 months old. My mom died. I decided to leave and move to Winnipeg. I was going to take my son with me. My stepfather took me to the bus station, and when we got there, he told me to leave my son with him. I told him I was taking my son with me, and he told me if I tried, he would shoot me. I believed him, and he was given to my oldest sister to raise. I hitchhiked from Thompson. I got a ride from some man who dropped me off at the bus depot. There was a woman at the bus depot who signaled me to come to her. I shook my head, no. She tried to talk to me, but she was Ojibwe and I didn't understand that language. I understood Main Street and went with her. I lived on the streets for years. I became a drunk. I hung out with a group. We called ourselves Six Pack. We would rob and steal and abuse men and roll them for their money. Life on the street was hard, but I didn't know where else to go or what to do. I was pregnant again and met a man in a bar. He was so nice to me and he treated me nice. I lived with him and everything changed. He beat me, tried to drown me, raped me, and kept me prisoner. I wasn't allowed to go out. I didn't know. He had just gotten out of Stony Mountain. I called the police so many times, but this was before women were given the benefit of doubt. The police told me they wouldn't get involved. They told me I must have done something to provoke him. I ran away finally. He looked for me because he believed he was the father of my baby. He wasn't, but he continually tried to find me. He said he would kill me if I ever left him, and I believed he would. I went into hiding. I got a little place on Mackenzie Street. I went back up to the reserve, have my second son. He stayed with my sister Susan. I was raped and abused by many men over my life. Sometimes I would get taken to the outskirts and raped. One time I got out of the car and started to run. He tried to run me over with his car. I've been sober since 1976. I went to AA for 9 years. After that, I did it on my own. I haven't had a drink for almost 40 years. When I got sober, I decided to make something of my life. I went back to school. I went to school because I wanted a change in my life. I had problems learning, understanding, and writing. I was more or less on my own and didn't have any help. This went on for some time. Eventually, I got on welfare. My problem expanded to welfare as well because I did not understand the rules. I had odd jobs, but the programs I took were often dead end with no work after I finished them, even though they promised me this would never happen. However, I did not give up. I kept going to school off and on. It was hard, but I kept going. I find it hard when I thought when I was thinking in Cree and I had to translate everything into English in my mind and try to comprehend what's being taught to me at the same time. Somehow I made it and graduated from a business course and got a good job. I worked at an insurance company for 10 years and the Dixon Foundation 5 years. I worked at the John Howard Elizabeth Fry Society, a Native and Alcoholism Counseling organization. I wanted more, and I went to university to take law courses. After that, I was diagnosed with lupus and Parkinson's. I had to forget that dream. I, I, was, I also have diabetes. I had a good career. I had a good worker. I was a good worker. I believe I was a good worker. I followed up on people who left the programs at the Pritchard House. I like making people comfortable and make them laugh to ease their pain and troubles. We all need love. We all need people no matter where we came from. I think it was I think I was able to get off the street because of my grandmother's teachings. She would lie down with me at night and lay down and tell me she was going to tell me a bedtime story. They weren't really bedtime stories. This is how my grandmother taught me values. She taught me respect, love, compassion, understanding. She taught me to trust in the Creator. I didn't do this for a long time, but I remember what she taught me, and it helped me change from living one life, changing my, pardon me, it helped me change from living a life on the street. I have a caregiver, his name is Anthony. We've been friends for 26 years. He's a good man, and we do a lot of things together. We come to Oak Table each day. I come here because of the atmosphere. And I like the staff. People are kind. I like to use the computers and do the brain games in luminosity. I walk here from Colony Street, where I live. Now I am retired and I try to enjoy and live my life to the fullest. I'm getting interested in some of my Aboriginal culture, and I know that there will be an elder coming to Oak Table in the new year, and I am interested in participating in that.